Viewers. Welcome to Jaipur Dialogue USA. And today wanted to talk about a very specific issue, the Congress Party manifesto, Tamil Nadu elections, Stalin, what the Congress Party has done, and why must people of India vote BJP and Prime Minister Modi's alliance, the party and the alliance. I have wonderful pleasure and welcoming back in the shortest possible time. We have never done this before, but today we have brought back Dr. Rajkumar and Umesh Agarwal ji once again, because last time the conversation we had has been very well received. And thank you both for coming out so vociferously in this entire conversation about the election. Now, before I begin again, want to request all the viewers, please like, subscribe, and support our channel, give our feedback. So, Dr. Saab and Umesh ji, I wanted to make a very special request. Now, our program is designed both in Hindi and English all over the place. Should you feel comfortable, please do chime in Hindi as well. So Hindi, English, anything that works is great. Let's have a great conversation today.
अब 3 Idiots देखा था ना? हाँ. 3 Idiots में वो चमत्कार बलात्कार ऐसे है मेरा हिंदी, मगर मैं कोशिश करता हूँ हिंदी में बात करने के लिए.
Yes, चमत्कार बलात्कार
उसका हिंदी में आएगा.
फेमस राहुल गांधी का तो होता रहता है बलात्कार.
थोड़ा बलात्कार करना पड़ेगा, करेंगे आज.
करेंगे. And for the viewers, I wanted to point out that Umesh ji's grandfather was from Rajasthan. He's an Agarwal who is born, brought up in Tamil Nadu, and he is both Hindi and English, Tamil, all conversant. That's right. That's very interesting. Now, I wanted to ask a very simple question today. I wanted to begin that conversation because the name Stalin irritates me a lot. I have nothing against the name. Please do not misunderstand the viewers. But, it is something like Stalin is historically a character whose brutality is well known in Russia. Yesterday I was watching a show in which what Stalin did to Russia, and constantly this mind was battering me that how can a mother name a child Stalin, or he has himself adopted it? I do not know. But in the absence of the famous Jayalalitha, MGR, and Karunanidhi, this new avatar of DMK Stalin, how is he able to attract the charisma of MK, Karunanidhi, Jayalalitha, and MGR in a manner that people like us, Hindus, are befooled by his call when he has given a call to destroy Sanatan? That's the one question has bothered me a lot. Because when the leader himself talks about destruction of a faith, of a belief, how people belonging to that faith are still inclined to vote towards him. Doctor, you go first on this.
Right. So firstly, I'd like to clarify to everyone that there's a confusion with the name. It is not the Chief Minister, Mr. M.K. Stalin, but his son, the heir apparent to the throne, Udayanidhi Stalin, who actually made that statement. The father, being the chief minister, did nothing to retract it or to render a public apology, and therefore there's just a little window dressing done. Practically, he's endorsed it. So how does a man be named Stalin? Those of us who know history will know that he was probably one of the most bloodiest. Mao Zedong and Stalin accounted for far more deaths than Pol Pot or even Hitler. Actually, right. Stalin accounted for many, many more deaths than even Hitler did. But then there was a period after the World War, 45 to 65, when all this was hidden. Right. And that's around the time when M.K. Stalin was born. And that's why his father mistakenly named him as a communist hero, as a savior of Russia. Because when he was born, Russia was behind the Iron Curtain, and all that they released was that Stalin was his guy. So that's just a quick little clear up. Second, I'll come straight to the point about Sanatana Dharma. The Hindus in Tamil Nadu have never felt the wrath of, as we discussed earlier, of a Ghazni, Muhammad of Ghazni, or a Gauri or an Alauddin Khilji or an Aurangzeb, shielded by the Vindhyas, as it were, geographically. Little bit of incursions from Bijapur and Golconda, but that's about all. They lived in relative harmony with the Muslims here in the south, except for small incursions from Tipu Sultan. Therefore, this concept which Mr. Stalin appeals to of social justice, say, oh, we love the Muslims, we love the Hindus, it somehow paints the average Hindu and he makes him think that he is in some way superior to Vibhuti Jha and to Umesh Agarwal and certainly much more superior to J.S. Rajkumar because he is an exalted person who will consider all human beings as one, and all this blah blah, this social justice blah blah, which means nothing. Actually, it's just a nice cover up for minority appeasement. The intelligent can see through it. But as I keep telling people when I deal with artificial intelligence is no match for natural stupidity. And our people just mistakenly assume that they are on a path of true social justice, and the whole world, especially India, is deluded. Can you imagine? They're living in this kind of state of delusion and they rub it in. I will tell you two or three things that our chief minister does. Every Ramzan or Bakrid, I have nothing against Islam, and as I said, I know many paragraphs and stanzas and surahs in the Quran. I find them interesting. But I can tell you this, he'll always have a cap on and he'll be doing this for Ramzan and Bakrid. And there'll be posters all over the place. But he will not have the cordiality to wish Happy Holi. He has never opened his mouth and said Happy Holi or Happy Diwali. In some way, that goes against their principle of so called social justice. It's bull. It's just BS. It's just concerted minority appeasement. And our silly people, the Hindus, 82 to 87% of them, don't seem to realize this. They don't seem to realize that if they get together, it'll be history. They're still under that delusion. I think Mr. Annamalai came in and pointed out a lot of these things to them. And some of them are beginning to convert. And that's where our 3% is probably going to 15 to 20%. So that's the story. And Mr. Udayanidhi Stalin was so intent on attracting that 15 to 20% that he said, I will not take anything back. He said, I won't take anything back. I will remain steadfast in my insult. And I want to point out something here to both of you and to all the listeners. In the last 1.5 years, 100 plus people have been arrested. Bloggers, college girls, an 83-year-old man for writing something that was perceived by the state, by Big Brother, to possibly incite a religion. And so they use a particular part of the Indian Penal Code known as 153A, which says that you're saying something in public that could incite one section of a religion and make them fight with the other. Now, they could put this, exactly this. Someone will cut this up. And next thing you know, I'll be doing the next interview with a bunch of bars in front of me. And sure,
No,
my lawyers will pull me
that
out.
is not going to happen. Yeah.
No, I bring
I
it on.
get your point, though. Yeah.
And this is what, and what do they say? We'll talk later about the prevalent dialogues that Modi is a fascist. They keep using he's a fascist. He promised 15 lakhs to each Indian and didn't give it. The NEET is doing harm, and he's the one who gave away Kachati. All rubbish, BS. So this is basically running on BS and calculated propaganda.
Wow. I mean, I definitely pray, and I'm definitely sure that there will be nothing against you in person. Although I know, you know, and everybody else knows that one of the methods of the Islamists and the leftists, who are fascists more than, is to target individuals. You shut up one Vibhuti Jha, and then rest of the Hindus will also shut up after that, because very few people have the voice, because we do not indulge in physical violence. That's one of the things. So I see the point that you said, that hundreds of people have been put behind bars or have been charged with one thing or the other under Indian Penal Code. So that I
2
totally
days,
understand.
just for the weekend. But
Yes.
then that's enough of a deterrent to a college girl to go into a stinky prison somewhere.
To discourage people. The freedom of speech is for them, not for us. That's what it
True.
is. Yeah, true.
Exactly.
Umeshji, I mean, tell me one thing, that you are an Agarwal living in Chennai, as born there. How have you felt about the linguistic element of what are your thoughts on the Hindi hate that exists in Tamil Nadu? How real is it? And can it be changed?
Mostly, if you see, I believe that the people around the state, they love Hindi. Okay, any movie which is releases in Hindi, it releases in Hindi theaters as well. And there was a time in 1980s or 1990s, most of the heroines were from Tamil Nadu. It was Rekha, Jayapata, Hema Malini. Uh, if you see
Vajanti
all
Mala. Vajanti
Jay,
Mala.
yes, Vajanti Mala, everyone was from Tamil Nadu. And after I think Madhuri Dixit came, the dominance of the state in the Bollywood, the actress, that came down. Okay, even Sri Devi, she was from Tamil Nadu. Okay, so I can say that even I never really felt anything like that. Okay, the people are very warming, and in fact, if I meet local DMK leaders also, they say that this is just a rhetoric. We have to do it. Okay, for the vote's sake. And frankly speaking, the industry is prospering in Tamil Nadu. Okay, everything is fine. There is no problem in trade and commerce. The problem lies in acquisition of temple wealth, temple land. That is happening at a very large scale. Apart from that, as residing north, as a Hindi-speaking North Indian, I never faced any problem. The people are really welcoming here. We celebrate all the festivals also, and one thing I have to admit about this about the chief minister, he's a self-made man. Okay, people, he may be the son of late Kalandar, but he had spent around 4 decades in politics before becoming the chief minister. He
अरे
was the
इतना
deputy.
पॉलिटिकल करेक्टनेस जरूरी नहीं भाई.
नहीं, मैं बता रहा हूँ, मैं
वो अभी
लैक्चर
क्या अभी सुन रहे हो?
नहीं, मैं नहीं बता रहा हूँ, एक सेकंड. So
मजाक कर रहे हैं.
what has happened is the leftist elements. What I believe is the something like leftist element, like D Raja. His name is Daniel Raja. Okay, they are having a cloud on this administration, and these guys, and as and when the chief minister getting older, and his clout on the administration has gone down. Okay, and definitely the higher apparent wanted to share the limelight, wanted to hog the limelight, and this was a manufactured statement, I believe, was done to position him as the heir apparent and to succeed Stalin in the future. So this was just a media gimmick, I believe. And Vibhuti Jha, I have a contrarian view. Because of that, the Hindus have awakened due to his statements. I was always saying in your previous show, it is a sleeping silent majority. Now it is warming up. They are coming up. You can see as and when Annamalai is going across the state. Today also he went to one place where he has addressed the elderly. He has made an emotional appeal to the people of Tamil Nadu. And he has even received a pat from the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, for the Prime Minister has sent him a personalized letter commending him for the role he has played. And I would like to add one more thing. PMK has won 3 elections in a row: 2019 Lok Sabha elections, 2021 Assembly elections, 2022 local body elections as well. 3 elections on the trot. Certainly they have decimated the opposition. There was nothing like that. But this time, I can say in 2024, they are facing a litmus test. What Annamalai has done is he has awakened. He has given the civilizational connect. He has given a hope. And one more thing, now the population of the state, the Hindu population of the state, are feeling disenchanted. Many DMK cadres who are Hindus, they are themselves disenchanted with the things. They do not have any say in the administration. It is a centralized power, and the civic communities in the states, in the cities, are not going well. But what I believe is this time the DMK is facing a real opposition in the face of Annamalai. His charisma, the way he is interacting with the people, the emotional cord he is being able to set up. He is able to connect with cross sections of the society. He is not having any linguistic barrier or anything religion. If he is mingling with everyone. He is being original. He will say that I will not wear a skull cap. but he goes and mixes with the Muslim people as well. So the people, I believe that somewhere down the line this time, I believe that Muslims may change, because what is happening is we have missed out. The state has missed out 2 decades of development. Maybe industries have come, okay, but the city is not as the city metropolitan city of Chennai is not as developed as other cities. This is what I would like to rest at the moment.
Thank you very
Can
much,
I just,
and
I'm
I
so sorry, but
appreciate.
could I just
Please go
interject
ahead.
there?
Please go ahead.
Umeshji, I actually went around to 4 or 5 constituencies. I actually campaigned for Mr. Annamalai in Kovai. I campaigned for Mr. A.C. Shanmugam in Vellore, for Mr. Nayanar Nagendran in Trinalveli, and for Mr. Devanathan Yadav in Sivaganga. And I'll tell you, at the ground zero level, I have some disagreements in my inputs. I have the greatest respect for Umeshji. The Muslims have been told across the state that should Modi ji come back, or should his representatives in the form of the BJP, should they come back, the CAA and the Uniform Civil Code will come. And all the Muslims at the ground, at the grassroots level, seem to think that the advent of the CAA and the Uniform Civil Code will mean that they have to go back to Pakistan. This is the kind of posters that are being put up in many places. And I tell them, Hare Bhai, the CAA was formed by the Jawaharlal Nehru government, dated 1955. And it was at that point of time from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, people were coming in. It was simply, this is just to accelerate that process and to ratify. I went personally to Majnu ka Tila in Delhi.
Yeah.
Wahan pe all the Hindus who fled from Pakistan were housed there. We were planning to do a huge medical camp there. Now, that was about 3 months ago. I checked yesterday, and I was told that the camp is non-existent. They've all been shifted to low-income group flats, which they with their own kitchens, etc. So, government is doing a lot for these people, but here at ground zero, they're all told if they come, you may have to go back to Pakistan. You pack your bags. You may have to go to Dubai. There's a huge fear factor, and we all know that in the presence of fear, organisms, minorities come together, and though they admire Mr. Annamalai, they're not going to vote for him. I went across Kovai talking to a lot of people, and in the Muslim area, when I spoke to them, they said, no, you'll send us back. And we were rushing through hundreds of homes within those few hours. I did not have time to sit with them and debate about the nuances of the Constitution of India and the CAA. But I got the idea that that's deeply rooted. So, ergo, they're still going to vote en bloc against BJP. And I found the same thing in Vellore, in Sivaganga, and sorry to
And
interject.
if the news reports are to be believed, I just read today that plane load of Indians living in the Gulf area are coming back to vote only for a particular purpose. Fear is the key, as Doctor was saying.
Yeah.
So the thing is that, there comes a moment in time. Individually, we are all good people. Individually, everybody is a good people. It is the collective wisdom that is a determining factor. And unfortunately, in the case of Muslims, the collective wisdom is driven not by individual conscience. It is driven by the diktat from wherever the command comes from. And as Doctor, I think I will agree with Doctor here that when they are instilled with a fear, because that was the time when that's what exactly happened in the partition time as well, that the fear was instilled that when the Hindu government will come, they will settle all scores with you. That's what the whole thing is all about. So coming back to another element here. So, if the Muslims are going to vote en bloc,
Vibhuti, I just want to add one
let
more thing.
Let me finish the question. You will have enough time to respond to that. The point is very simple. Coming back to the key issue here, will the AIADMK Jayalalitha part vote, that AIADMK, which percentage of that will come to BJP, or will that be captured by DMK? Do they have a future in the system at all? Is there any leadership that can command Jayalalitha kind of an attention to reignite that party? That will be a key vote which will the BJP must capture on. Your thoughts on that?
So I did a lot of. Oh, sorry, please, Umesh.
Go ahead. Doctor, you start. Then I'll come to him because he has
so
to.
I did a deep dive on what makes them tick.
Yeah.
This time, what makes the DMK and ADMK tick? It's not policies. It's not Siddhant. It's simply economics. The whole structure, from the local body to the councillor to the chairman to the MLA MPs, is structured in such a way that people keep down the line. It's like a multi-level marketing. Everybody gets a bit of the pie, and everyone belongs to an ecosystem. And when you subscribe to a common economic-based ecosystem, it's very easy to find your roots because, to my surprise, I also thought, like you did, that the ADMK would get wiped out. On the contrary, although they might not get as many seats because the DMK anti-incumbency is going to be split between the BJP and the ADMK, and we are therefore going to sit between two stools. We'll be neither here nor there. This is the problem in a triangular contest. Always favors the incumbent, and the two anti-incumbents will just split that. Having said that, many of us thought initially that they would be decimated from their earlier 29 or 30% to maybe 5% or 6%. That's not happening. I think that they are going to come a close third to BJP, if not a close second. I'm looking at maybe 15, 16%, 15 to 20% BJP, 15 to 20% ADMK. They've really rallied back under EPS and under this fabric. I asked a few guys, hey, but then what's the future? He said, no. I get a cut out of every deal here, even though we're not the ruling party. There's a whole system in place. I belong to that system, and by continuing and fighting for it, I am fighting not for my bread and butter, but for my jam. They all get extra money in the process. So ADMK is actually resurgent, and although they won't get seats, they're going to get a fairly high percentage. They're not as easy a pushover as we thought.
Okay, that's great. Umeshji, wanted to ask you the question about the Muslim votes, right? The key element there, will the Muslim women, because of triple talaq and things like that Prime Minister has done, are they more inclined to favor BJP, Modi, not BJP, Modi? And the men will go other way around and the women will go the other way around? Your thoughts on that?
I think, as Rajkumar ji pointed out, most of the community votes en bloc, and the diktat comes from the clerics, and it is being judiciously followed. I was just wondering if the Muslim youth of the state, there is a high percentage of Muslim youth as well, will they be able to resonate with Annamalai thoughts? Okay, I believe I believe that some of the percentage of Muslim youth vote might come to Annamalai. It will be a very meager percentage. Okay, but in a tight cornered contest, 3-tier contest, it will play a very significant role. Okay, it will be a very close contest. Secondly, what if I infer from Rajkumar ji's talks, BJP has not been able to deliver the benefits the Muslims have garnered in that regime. Okay, Muslims are around 17 to 18% of the population, but they garner around 30% of the central government benefits. Okay, and it is a data which is being shown from 2014 that share in government jobs have increased from 5% to 10%. Even if you see the UPSC results which were declared, I think around 51 Muslims have made it to have cleared UPSC. Yeah, services. So what BJP is unable to do, they are unable to communicate the things. Secondly, I believe that in the BJP's manifesto, the Tiruvallur Cultural Center, they are planning to open across the world. You know that Chinese have opened the Confucius centers, okay, which invariably act as their decoy centers for reverse engineering patents, as they are doing in America.
Right.
BJP plans to open Tiruvallur Center, and it will focus on science, literature across the world. So so this is a very remarkable thing. And I'm sorry to say, nobody had pointed out in the last leg of the election. The manifesto was released on 14th. We still had 3 to 4 days. This should have been played out. This was not communicated well. Secondly, I believe one more thing, that the candidates are relying on Modi ji, and Modi ji, wherever he has campaigned, he has delivered. But the candidates need to do the homework also. They need to see what are the local issues also. That were remain untouched. But what I believe is the Chennai Central constituency, where I am hailing, and Vinodji Selvam is the candidate there, and Rajkumar ji was also there with him today. The campaign was electric. Fine. Last 2 to 3 days, I in my last show I had written him off, but certainly today I feel that he has a very great chance of winning the constituency. And even in Deccan Chronicle and Hindu, both of them have marked him as a serious contender. And when Enram's Hindu says that, it matters a lot. It is virtually the DMK mouthpiece. Regarding one more thing, I would like to say that BJP in 2024 Lok Sabha election will be similar to 2019 West Bengal election, where it will emerge as the principal opposition party in the state. There are around 14 constituencies where they have a chance of winning. And if the voting percentage goes up above 75%, then certainly this will be an anti-incumbency vote, and the vote will be going to BJP. As I said, that both the parties, DMK and ADMK, have the captive vote bank, the legacy vote bank. They will not vote for each other. But the remaining 50%, BJP has the chance there, and they will be getting cross sections of the vote. And I have been speaking to auto vendors and even the people who are the lower strata of the society. They are not happy with the DMK now, in spite of they distributing money and other things. They are certainly not happy, and there is a sense of what you say. Even Stalin has got the wind of it. If you see, if you see the advertisement, it is coming up. Stalin is portraying himself as a larger than figure. He is exactly copying and mimicking the way PM is campaigning. He is positioning himself as a direct competitor to Narendra Modi. So Stalin has already started preparing for the 2026 assembly elections in this.
So, quite a few segues have come, which I was going to talk about. One of them is the communication. We do a lot of work with American politicians about communication in the digital era, and it's a very important part. Communication is the key. Political messaging is the key. Even leaders have to message. That's what is important. Communication is key. So the question here is twofold. Will the anti-incumbency work? How much will the anti-incumbency work against DMK, Stalin? And the second part, which I would want you to comment about, let's spend the remaining time on analyzing and communicating the campaign manifesto of the two parties or the parties in question towards the Lok Sabha part. Okay, so go ahead, Doctor. Take the shot.
So I'd like to start by saying the DMK is terrific at mass communication. From the very inception, they've based the bedrock, their civilizational bedrock of the DMK, so to speak, is based on mass communication. So even though hundreds of crores are being pumped every few months from the center, the average John Q citizen is under the belief that it's all being given by the state government. So I stopped at various places and asked, so where are you getting your morning meal from? Our CM is giving to us. But they don't understand that there's something called Article 246 of the Constitution. They don't understand that there's a Schedule 7. They don't understand that tells you which is a state list, which is a concurrent list, and which is a central list. They don't understand that the morning scheme comes under the concurrent list. They don't understand that 70% of it is being paid by Mr. Modi, because when it comes here, when the scheme reaches them, it's only got the chief minister's photograph on it. Classic mass disinformation. And wherever I went, I said, where are you getting this from? CM is giving it, CM is giving it. They're blindly, this is Goebbels. It's a classic vintage Goebbels. Speak a lie a million times, it becomes the truth. So I'll quickly run through the anti-incumbency issues. One is that the CAA, they're pushing in a big way, saying if it's CAA, get ready, pack your bags. You got to take the train to Pakistan. So that's one thing that's going to work against us. Malcolm Gladwell talked about a tipping point, at which point of time the whole thing falls apart. Now, I don't know the answer to this really, but the question you're asking is, has anti-incumbency reached the tipping point so that it would tip the scales completely in favor of the BJP? My answer is a wistful no. I would have been happy to say yes. I'm unhappy, but I am, as Oscar Wilde said, I have nothing to declare but my intelligence, and I have to say the truth. So I think here I have to say the truth that it's possibly not yet reached the tipping point. Why? Because of the incredible mass communication maneuvers by the DMK. Incredible. I mean, I'll give you an example. Something like close to 4,000 crores was pumped into this soft skills development. Huge amounts being pushed in. They just, so that you can do your college while you're doing your graduation or post-graduation, you can learn a new language, like you said, etc., etc. Soft skills. They dubbed it, you can be a chief minister too. I am a chief minister program in Tamil. Naan Mudal means, मैं CM हूँ. Very, very catchily done, beautifully done, because they don't do anything else. They just do this beautifully. So they just labeled it beautifully, and 16 lakh families believe that their children got their diplomas and everything completely free of cost because of CM. 70% comes from there. And so on and so forth. 10.25 lakh crores Modi ji has dished out to us in the last 10 years. And they still believe that what was given? Nothing. That's the answer I got. I got this answer. So that's a phenomenal. I've never seen such effective. I mean, Goebbels will be rolling around in his grave, actually. These guys, the ways these guys are doing it, amazing. Now, another thing that they've made everybody believe, this is the latest from the manifesto. Rahul Gandhi ne bola, खटाखट आता रहेगा. कब तक आता रहेगा 1 लाख? जब तक ये गरीबी रेखा से तू निकल जाओगे. This is like जब तक है जान. Till as long as you live, you'll be getting it. It's ridiculous. And then he says, we will free Hindustan from poverty. Hindustan se garibi se, mita denge. Kaisa yaar? 1 lakh. And these people are believing this. 1 lakh. Today, I was in Central Chennai, as he said, with Mr. Vinod. I'll quickly do a bit of calculation here. Let's run the brain cells. If you give 1 lakh to people below the poverty line, how do you define poverty in India? International, multidimensional poverty, if somebody's earning less than $3.65 per day. By that count, 12.96% of India is under the poverty line. This is the lowest, by the way. When Modi ji came in, it was 22 point something. So it's 10% down. And we have cleared 25 crore people from multidimensional property. But 12.96 is close to 13% of 146 crores, is close to 195, 19.5 crore people. Let's round that off, 20 crore people. So Rajiv Gandhi, who's
Rahul.
Sorry to say, that's Rahul Gandhi, who's who probably my suspenders have got a higher IQ. So he's looking at giving 1 lakh per year to 200 billion people, 20 crore people, which will come to roughly 20 lakh crores per year. Now, the Indian annual budget, for those who don't know, is between 40 and 50 lakh crores per year. Our defense budget, which is 13% of the whole thing, is 6.25 lakh crore. And the whole thing is 40 lakh crore. Classic example of a complete inverse ratio between the size of the mouth and the size of the brain. And there are people believing that if INDI comes back, they're going to get 1 lakh per family below the poverty line per year. And for those who are blessed or cursed with even a lower IQ than himself, which is difficult to imagine, he's just clarifying that that is equal to 8,500 per month. He said that a few times. Arey, come on, yaar. People are believing this. So this is a massive, high-scale disinformation. People are still believing. I promise you, they believe. Today I spoke to them that if the DMK is voted back in, NEET will go off. Arey, NEET has been cleared very, very clearly by the Supreme Court. And according to Ambedkar's constitution, there's only one thing higher than the Supreme Court, and that is the constitution. You have to go back to the constitution and change it. And for that, you need a 2/3 majority in upper house and lower house. So people keep asking me in television shows, tell us, is it possible or not? It's possible, yeah. Theoretically, if they get such a landslide in the Lok Sabha, they get a landslide in all the states, and they have two-thirds and two-thirds, they change, amend the constitution, and then that can override the Supreme Court. If wishes were horses, it's not going to happen. These are all the prevalent misinformation that are going around. 1 lakh, and another one is, where did Modi? He told us he put 15 lakh in the pocket.
Yeah.
Rubbish. All he was giving was a statistical equivalent, saying that if all the money that's gone abroad is brought in, it would roughly be equivalent to every citizen having 15 lakhs. Today, two people asked me, yeah, but this is my pocket, where's the 15 lakh? He said he would put 15 lakh. Of course, I launched it and said, did you hear it? Did you see the television thing? Do you know what went on? But we are talking to, 8.5 crore people. Last but not least, I'll finish up the last of the misinformations, is the Kachatibu. They all believe that it's only the Congress that will get back Kachatibu. They don't understand. It was Congress, Indira Gandhi, who handed over the Kachatibu Islands, the Kachatibu Islands,
Yeah,
just between India and Sri Lanka, handed it over on a plate in 1974. And this time I'm rolling my sleeves, I'm hands-on in politics. I've talked to the fishermen. Until 1974, these poor buggers, even after it was given off, until 76, they could go and land and fish there. And they put up some Corpus Christi St. Anthony shrine there. And then the government told Indira Gandhi, they won't even give you landing rights. So now our poor Tamil fishermen don't even have landing rights as of 1976. They're not able to trawl. They go into Sri Lankan waters and they get arrested. And the only way we can get that back, I keep telling people, is let's use our intellect. Let's go back to 74, where we tell Sri Lanka, it's yours. Keep it for now. Let my poor fishermen land and fish and come back. Bus. They won't go to take over St. Anthony Shrine. There's no anti-Christian agenda, nothing. So these are the things that our people genuinely believe, and there's a huge degree of indenting of this brain. And sometimes you think, can I discuss with these guys in a direct battle of wits? But really, Vibhuti Ji, if you're engaging in a battle of wits with them, it will be like not dharmic, because we'll be engaging in a battle with somebody who's completely unarmed.
Wow. This is quite sensational, because how the island was surrendered by Indira Gandhi as if it was her property. That's what bothers me about the Congress party and their allies, India and others, that they treated country as if it was their parental right on it. That's the problem, and that's something Hindus don't get it. I mean, we are kind of I always say that we are a combination of lotus eaters and shatranj ke khiladi combined, which makes us horrible in that scenario. It makes it horrible. But Umeshji, what I wanted to also ask, fear factor. Dr. Saab talked about the fear factor that gets installed. The other element is the free factor. Congress party, again, 1 lakh. What? Nobody thinks that in 1971, Indira Gandhi talked about Garibi Hatao. And unka grandson jo hai, great grandson jo hai, wo abhi bhi wahi Garibi Hatao ki baat kar raha hai.
Exactly.
So possibilities are, in my opinion, that they will have so many fake names to whom they will give this 1 lakh. The real poor will not get the money. If you look at once, Savio Rodriguez, who is a Goa Chronicle writer, he chronicled how the amounts of money were stolen by Congress party in the name of distribution. My question is very simple here. I'm not asking the Christians and Muslims, because I don't own them. I don't agree with their philosophies. I don't agree with many of my philosophies. But are Hindus so Kumbhakarna type that we don't see the bleeding obvious? Particularly when we claim so much wisdom, knowledge, and everything else.
Vibhuti Jha, I understand your thing, whatever you're saying. But if you say Tamil Nadu has been historically a welfare state, and right from Kamaraj rule, then the first midday meal scheme was initiated in Tamil Nadu, and in 2006, Karunanidhi first in 2006 he distributed television sets, and in 2011 Jayalalitha went overboard and she distributed everything. Okay, so this state It's a model of a welfare, what do you say, freebie state all over India. And I would like to say one more thing. I would like to add about one more thing. That is a health insurance scheme, Ayushman Bharat Health Insurance Scheme. It is being marketed in Tamil Nadu as Chief Minister Health Guarantee Scheme. Okay, and this is and what is happening is, due to this pollution, people are not aware of the benefits that central government is actually providing. I would say that DMK is very smart. I would say that they are able to market that the things which they have already not done. Okay, and it is the inability of the BJP to communicate things to the masses. Why has all these things not been done? None of the candidates have also been done all these things. Everybody are just banking on the charisma of the prime minister. Today, I was happy with Vinodji Selvam in central Chennai when he actually portrayed the images of how he has worked during the floods that happened in December. It is not a distant memory, 4 months back. All this time of the campaign, nothing was being reflected. But the last 2 to 3 days, some wisdom has come into him, and certainly, by communicating, he has been able to project himself as a serious candidate. Remember one thing, sir. Prime Minister Modi campaigned in southern Chennai, South Chennai South. He never came to Chennai Central. But still, if anybody asks what is the strongest seat in Chennai, can BJP win? It is the Central Chennai. So this communication has not been done by other candidates. Annamalai, on the other hand, uh, has given what do you say, a manifesto where he will be fulfilling 100 promises in the next 500 days. But certainly that vision document has not come from others. We know G. Selvam today has given something. Okay, I have to read the document, but certainly he is able to strike a chord. He's been working very hard. But I believe that the BJP IT cell needs to gear up. They need to communicate the difference between freebies and subsidies, which will empower them.
Right.
Certainly, it has been done.
Considering the time factor, that is, I wanted to do the last question on the minority appeasement, which plays a big role into election time. Other times minorities are to be played around with. How is the minority appeasement? The majority is not seeing that there is a need to defeat the minority appeasement policies. And that's exactly what Congress and DMK and anti-Hindu parties are doing shamelessly. So much so that, as you said, communicating the CAA and everything, NRC and others, are being used as a frightening tool. So my question is, don't the voters see through the minority appeasement BS? Doctor, you first.
So I'm sometimes in a situation where it's so frustrating to ask this question that can't you see all around? And somehow everybody seems to be in a collective stupor. We haven't still barely even infringed upon that collective consciousness or unconsciousness that all this is happening around. They feel this is what should happen, number one. Number two, there is this nice gloss and sheen, rubbed off, saying, "Oh, this is what is social justice. You know what? We are superior to all other states." And they'll throw in a UP and they'll throw in a Gujarat and they'll say, "We are superior because we really respect other people like our own brothers, etc." On the other hand, actually, if you look at the Muslims, not even a single Muslim has been given a seat in the DMK. Not even a single Muslim.
Oh, I see.
The money that was allocated to the scheduled caste, somewhere between 300 and 500 crores, which was allocated for scheduled caste, was collectively used. The whole sum was used to give that freebie of $1,000 per woman. And it was supposed to be given to 1 crore of women. It was only given to 30% or 32%. Indeed, that factor is going a little bit against them, because the women who didn't get are saying, "Well, we didn't get," and the women who got it say, "We probably won't get it again." Everybody now knows that it was a giant gimmick But of course, it paid off very, very well with those few women for whom it was given. So the minority appeasement is going on flat out. I'll tell you the background. Very good mathematics. Cruel mathematics, but good mathematics. And the DMK itself is a 24 to 25% die-hard DMKs. They're like dyed in the wool. Whatever you do, you cut them, they'll bleed DMK, right? You have a minority of anything between 14 and 18%. You add the two, and you will get 42%. And nobody who has got upwards of 37% has ever lost an election in Tamil Nadu. So if you go historically, it's actually pretty good. And apart from that, there'll be some people who have benefited. There are people who are part of the government fabric, who are all government servants, for example, who will naturally be pro-incumbency. So it's a good, cruel, and divisive ploy, and our people are not able to see through it because they don't see it for that. They see it as, oh God, social justice is being done. Why? Because day in and day out, this is being yelled from the rooftops. Like Walt Whitman said, they're like sounding their barbarous yops from over the rooftops of the world and saying this is social justice on one side and the freebies on the other side. So this is their ploy. And I must, I know this is the last bite, I must say that probably it is going to work this time. And although the BJP is going to make phenomenal growth from 3% to 16 or 18, it's a 500% growth, which no other party has ever enjoyed, so far. However, if you take the number of seats, we might do 5 to 7 or 8, still much larger than what we've ever done before. But I believe the latest data is saying 25 to 30 will still be in the DMK because of the combination of the factors that I've just mentioned to you. And what about logic? What about looking at the stupor? What about all these, when all these are about as useful in this election as a condom machine in the Vatican?
Unbelievable. Your closing statement, Umeshi.
I believe that this election, DMK, the places in which DMK is contesting, they will ensure that they will win. But I believe that Congress and other allies will lose handsomely. And in that places, BJP has a very good chance. And if you see in Tamil Nadu, it is a personality clash between the Prime Minister Modi, Annamalai versus Stalin. So Stalin has gone into that mode. So he is preserving his identity and he is already preparing for 2026 assembly elections, as I told. So the benefits, as Rajkumar ji has told, will accrue to DMK. They will be winning. The strike rate of they contesting and winning will be tremendous. But Congress will lose heavily. And last time in 2019, Congress won 52 seats in the Lok Sabha. They won 19 seats in Kerala and they won 8 seats in Tamil Nadu, 8 or 9 seats. So it means after 52, 28 seats they won in both the states.
Yeah.
This figure is likely to come down to 12 or 13 in this election. And the inverse gain will be happening for BJP for sure. As Rajkumar has stated, they are poised to get some seats in Kerala as well. So what I believe is, and one more thing I would like to add, Annamalai is now emerging as the strongest leader post Stalin. Okay, and nobody can defeat the charisma of Chief Minister because he has been in public service for 40 years. But after Stalin, the most popular leader in Tamil Nadu, who can relate, who can really work for the masses, he is being seen as an idol. I have seen students really listening to him for hours also. Okay, they listen to him patiently because he is able to capture the attention. He is able to pinpoint the points. I even I will watch the interview of Annamalai for 2 hours also. I will not even blink. This is the type of hold he can make.
Yes.
So this the way he is communicating. He is definitely going to. He is definitely emerging out of the shadows, and he is now
Absolutely.
a very serious contender. And the type of attacks which has happened from EPS and Dayanidhi Maran will not be taken lightly, and they will be punished. And I believe that this election will start the emergence, the blooming of lotus, and the fading of leaf for the time being.
That's
And in
very well
future,
said. That's very well
Nicely
said.
said. Nicely said.
Nicely said.
and
Wanted
in
to
future,
come to you with your word on this. How many
and one more.
seats do you? Let's be. We have to wrap up now, Umeshji. Sorry for that part. One
Okay.
thing quickly to come here now is that how much does the percentage share of BJP translate into number of seats? Uh, what happens if they get 30% of the seats, 25 to 30% of the seats, percentage vote share? Will it translate into number of seats, or what do you think is the max likely of BJP winning the seats in this election?
So the two things in this, that
Yeah.
the BJP's growth is a very interesting mathematical quirk here, that the BJP's growth is across the state. And when you have growth that's concentrated in one or two regions with, say, 6 or 7 seats, then you can sweep those. That happens to caste based or community based parties. But the BJP's growth is logic based. Thank God logic prevails in some places. It's across. So, therefore, since it's across, 15 to 20%, 15 to 20% would roughly translate to 6 to 8 seats, maybe pushing to 10, or BJP plus allies.
Wow. Okay, that's great. Umeshji, a friend of mine has shared a list of cities. I have the time to read them. I would like your thoughts on it. For BJP plus NDA, likely winnable seats: Kanyakumari, Tirunelveli, Tenkasi, Ramanathapuram, Madurai, Virudunagar, Thenni, Namakkal, Coimbatore, Nilgiris, Tirupur, Pollachi. He puts it under bracket surprise. Dharampuri, Vellore, Chidambaram, Trichy, Tanjore, Central Chennai, more chance, South Chennai, less chance. Your quick thoughts on this. Quick, quick.
You want,
Certainly, it will
Umesh, you
be.
go first.
Certainly, it will be a really. I would like this to happen around 18 to 20 seats. And as I've already said, that DMK will maintain its strike rate, and the allies will bear the loss. And this is the way Tamil Nadu elections. I would summarize.
Okay,
It would be
I'll
evenly
quickly
matched
say
between DMK and NDA.
okay. Doctor,
Kovai,
your
can
thought.
I? Yeah, Kovai, yes. Tirunelveli, yes. Vellore, yes. Kanyakumari, no. Um, Namakkal, no. Dharmapuri, yes. Central Chennai,
Chidambaram?
Chidambaram, possibly yes, because that's the heart of the anti-Sanatan movement. That's
Oh, okay.
and Chidambaram is a temple city,
Yeah.
heart of Saivism, and we have Tirumavalavan, who's the head of the scheduled caste movement, the VCK, who
Okay.
kept the conference to eradicate Hinduism, at which Udayanidhi Stalin spoke. And
Okay.
he's pitched against a lady from the BJP called Kartiani, who resigned her mayorship in Vellore to come and contest here.
I
And
see.
the people in the temples are pretty pissed off, to say the least, about him. So yes, we
Okay.
may get Chidambaram, but Pollachi, Tirupur, Namakkal, nope. So
No.
I think about 10, maybe 10.
Okay.
Lucky, we're lucky 10.
Thank you so much. I mean, it is fascinating to talk about Tamil politics and the national elections. This 2024 is a watershed moment. I say this very openly in my shows and my thoughts that 2024 elections in India and the US, and I don't call these two countries as the largest, oldest democracies. I call them the two most prominent democracies of the world, are going through elections. People of both the countries, there is a very important recoil happening eventually against the leftist, against the socialist, and against the Islamist agenda. If you remember a few days ago on April 15th, there were a series of events that happened regarding the pro Palestine, pro Hamas statements that were made. Golden Gate Bridge was shut down for 5 hours both ways. New York City, crazy things are happening here. The leftist, Marxist people and the Islamist people are doing that. Crazy things are happening. Yesterday, 500 migrants walked into the New York City Council office demanding the mayor that they don't want to live into the refugee shelters. They want to go back to the five-star hotel. Look at the demands being made. You have a scenario where more than 8 million people have migrated. And today, not few days ago, FBI chief warned that we have a serious threat of domestic violence, terrorist attacks coming. These are kind of angering the people a lot more than otherwise. You had a scenario when in one of the cities, I don't want to name them, an 18-year-old boy, motivated by Islamic sentiments, was going to go on a rampage, shooting from one church to another, to kill as many people as he can until he's shot dead. Gentlemen, this is the defining moment of civilization as we lived. Now, if we lose to the leftist Islamist model, maybe Dharma Yuddha has to take another shape. But we have to be ready for that. So thank you very much for joining today. It is late for
That's
you
a
in India.
brilliant conclusion. Brilliant
Thank you, sir.
conclusion.
Thank you very
Dharma
much.
Yuddha started.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your words. And I want to say to everybody, Satyameva Jayate, this is the moment of truth you are facing. Everybody in India and America, go and vote with your eyes open, mind clear. See the impending threat that is looming and staring at us in our eyes. If not now, when? Thank you for joining.
Jai Hind, Jai
Jai
Bharat.
Hind.